Hi and welcome back. If you have been here for a while, you know that I'm a big fan of LED light therapy. Lately, I have been getting a lot of questions on which LED device I personally would recommend. So in today's video, I will share all the LED devices I have accumulated over the years, let you know which ones of them I actually use and why. But first of all, what is LED light therapy? LED stands for light emitting diode. It is a light source we can put on or near our skin to allow for cellular change. This is also known as photobiomodulation, a change of cellular biology through the delivery of light. The light energy gets absorbed by an end target, depending on wavelength. Once absorbed, it either inhibits or stimulates a cellular process, prompting our cells to react and either slow down cellular function or function more efficiently. This is also known as photochemical change. So basically, the light energy gets absorbed by the mitochondria, the powerhouse of our cell. And within the mitochondria, the cell becomes photoactivated and functions more efficiently by increasing the uptake of oxygen and nutrients, but also by increasing the production of ATP, or cellular energy. This in turn, for example, allows a fibroblast to produce more collagen, a hair follicle, if placed on the scalp, to become more active, but it also allows for any sort of stagnation to move and for inflammation to decrease. Therefore, LED light therapy is not just beneficial for cosmetic purposes, such as to increase collagen and reduce lines and wrinkles, but also for acne, hair growth, wound healing, certain skin cancers, injury recovery, and just to increase mitochondrial health in general. There are quite a few different colors and with that wavelength of LED, but the most frequently used and the most researched are blue, red, and near-infrared. And studies suggest that a wavelength of around 420 nanometers for blue light, in the mid-600 nanometers for red light, and mid-800 nanometers for infrared light are most beneficial. Now I know some of you are going to ask about LED light therapy and facial fat loss. There are a handful of studies showing that LED light therapy, usually in conjunction with another treatment, can help reduce body fat. To my knowledge, no study has ever proven that LED light therapy melts facial fat. But I also don't think we have a study proving that it doesn't. So at this point, we really don't know. However, I am quite skeptical. But I would say use your LED devices responsibly. Follow the instructions the manufacturer gives you. So if it says on your device, use for 10 minutes every other day, don't think using it for 20 minutes every day will give you 3 times the results. I am very guilty of that. More is not always better. So follow the instructions, use your devices responsibly, and keep an eye out on further research. And I will do the same, and we will keep each other informed. And hopefully we will find out that LED devices do not melt our precious facial fat. So with all of that said, let's take a look at all the LED devices I have accumulated over the years. And again, I will let you know which of those I actually use and why. The very first LED device I ever purchased, I purchased about 12 years or so ago. I still have it, it still works, but I cannot find it. We recently moved into this apartment and my husband put things in not very obvious places, so I don't know where it is, but I will put a picture right here. Now, of course, 12 years ago when I purchased this device, we did not have the variety of at-home LED devices we have now. And back then this device was all the rage. This is red and near infrared combined. The surface area, however, is only about this big. So to actually treat a bigger surface, like your face for example, you are supposed to put this on a spot for 3 minutes. Once the 3 minutes are up, you move it to the next spot, and so on. So it takes forever to just cover your face, let alone your neck, chest, or the rest of your body. So I don't use this device any longer because it's not practical, it's too time consuming. A handheld device like this, in my opinion, only makes sense if, for example, you have a specific area you want to treat, and for whatever reason you don't want LED on the surrounding area. Then a handheld device like this would make sense. But to actually cover a bigger area, it's just too time consuming. So while I still have this device and while it still works, I no longer use it. The next device I purchased maybe 6 years ago is this booklet right here. I also cannot find it. My husband probably put it with the handheld device, but this booklet is also red and near infrared. A treatment cycle is 3 minutes. Now this booklet covers a bigger area, so I used to actually open this up and put it in front of my face, or I have used it on a shoulder or an injured area. The problem with this booklet is it heats up. So the near infrared in that booklet really gets hot. Newer devices, good newer devices, don't heat up, which is a good thing, because there is a concern using red light therapy with melasma. Now, some of my viewers have told me that their melasma actually got better when using red light therapy, but some experts think that the heat near infrared or infrared light can give off can make melasma worse. But like I said, good newer devices do not overheat, and all the ones I have here and actually use do not overheat. I have used this booklet on my dog Sam because she does like the heat, but for myself I no longer use it. And then the last device I also haven't used in a long time and can't find because my husband put it with the other two, is the neck and neck perfector by Current Body. This device also combines red and near infrared. You cannot separate the program, it is just one program combining red and near infrared. And I actually got this device because I wanted to review it in a video. So for that video I wore the device quite frequently for, I want to say, 8 weeks, and I actually saw some results. If you're curious about that video, I will link it down below. I actually do have before and after pictures in there, so there was a bit of a difference. But for some reason, once I had filmed the video, I never used this device again. I don't know why. It is super easy to use, it's very practical, it's comfortable to wear, and like I said, I did see results, but for some reason I just never used it again. And obviously my neck and my chest could use a bit of love, but I don't know why I'm just not using this device. And again, I can't even find it at this point. So these are 3 devices I have used in the past, but no longer use. Another device I have used a ton is the Aduro LED face mask. I also made a video on this one. This is actually, when I got this, it was one of the very first flexible face masks, and I thought it was just the coolest. If you're curious about that video, it's a bit older, but I will link it down below. So this face mask was my very first flexible face mask, or LED face mask in general, and I loved it and still think it is really great. This has several different LEDs. It has green, yellow, orange, purple, I think 2 different blues. It has a program combining red and near infrared, as well as a program just using red. So that's what's really great about this mask. You can do the red light separately from the near infrared in case you're worried about melasma. Though this mask, even though it is probably about 3 years old at this point, does not overheat, even on the program combining red and near infrared. But regardless, you could use the program just using red light. Also, if you struggle with acne, it has blue light, it has green light, which honestly does not have very many studies supporting it, but some experts do think that green light can help with hyperpigmentation. So it does have all these different lights. To be honest, I never used any of them. I really only used the program combining red and near-infrared. I might have used the blue light once or twice when I had a breakout, but that's it. So for somebody like myself who only wants red and near-infrared, this is a bit overkill. But again, if you wanted all the other colors, or if you want to be able to separate red and near-infrared, this is a great mask. I actually don't know of any other flexible face masks where you can separate red and near-infrared. To my knowledge, all of them are combined. But if you have one where you can actually separate red and near-infrared, please correct me in the comments. So this is a great mask. However, I have not used it in a while because many of you asked me, could I please review a different flexible face mask? So about 6 months or so ago, I got the Omnilux face mask. Now this one is only red and near-infrared. You cannot separate them, it is one program. I do feel that this mask, maybe because it is newer, is a bit more powerful as far as irradiance than the Aduro mask. The treatment cycle for the Aduro mask is 20 minutes. For the Omnilux, it is 10 minutes. So I do think it is a bit more powerful. One problem I have with the Omnilux mask, even though I think it is a great mask, it is not very comfortable on my face. I do find the Aduro mask a bit more comfortable on my face. So this one has 2 different straps, but for some reason the bottom strap always ends up around my neck, and this feels very tight on my jaw. I do have quite a big jaw, so that might be why. So it is not the most comfortable. However, the treatment cycle, at least not on me. However, the treatment cycle is 10 minutes, so it's not a big deal. Aside from this not being as comfortable as I would like it to be on my face, this is a great mask. It is powerful. Again, it is red and near-infrared, and the wavelength for the red light is 633 nanometers and 830 nanometers for the near-infrared. I find myself, when using a face mask, using the Omnilux much more frequently lately. It is not as comfortable, but I do think it's a bit more powerful, and the treatment cycle is only 10 minutes. So it's just less time consuming, even though when I put this on or the Aduro, I can multitask. So either one is a great choice if you're looking for a flexible face mask. I have not tried the current body face mask. I have tried the neck and neck perfector, and like I said, it's a great device. I saw results, I just never use it. But I do think the specs between the current body face mask and the Omnilux are quite comparable. So that's flexible face masks. So again, this is the one I have been using more, but what I have been using the very most is actually my panel right here. So this is my Mito Light panel. It is the Starter 3.0, and this is what I have been using almost daily, and I have been loving it. This is also red and near-infrared, and the company says rather than using the old familiar wavelength of 660 nanometers and 850 nanometers, they are using 2 new wavelengths, which they say allow for maximum absorption and efficiency. And those wavelengths are 670 nanometers and 830 nanometers. They also go on to say that because this device is at a 30-degree angle, the irradiation power is strong enough even from a longer distance. So 670 nanometers for red and 830 nanometers for near-infrared. What is neat about this device is, again, you can separate the red and near-infrared. So you can do just red, you can do just infrared, or you can combine them. Personally, I always combine them. But again, if you were worried about melasma, you could just use red. If you wanted to use this for pain relief, you could just use near-infrared, or you can combine them. But as far as worrying about melasma, even though this device is quite powerful, it also does not overheat. So this is what I have been using the very most. Now, to be honest, Before I got this panel, the reason I always used a face mask is, well, several reasons, and they are quite easy to use, and you can multitask when you wear a mask. I am not the most patient person, and I like to multitask. So the thought of sitting in front of a panel and just sitting there and doing nothing seemed very foreign to me, and I wasn't sure would I actually do it. But I wanted to give it a try, so I got this panel. I love sitting in front of this. To me, sitting in front of here, let me actually put this down, it's a bit heavy. So to me, sitting in front of this panel feels similarly to when I lived in Hawaii, when I used to bake myself in the sun, which I no longer do. But having the sun sort of wash over me and the relaxation that comes with it, that's what this feels like without the sun damage. So I have been loving using the panel. I love the coverage it gives me. So this particular panel gets me from about here to mid-chest. I would love to have a full body panel, and maybe someday. But I could of course move this down and then further down. And I have used this on other parts of my body. So that's what I like about having a panel. It is quite versatile, and it does of course give you a much broader coverage. But talking about versatile, a face mask like this can also be used on other places, not just the face. So you could use this on your scalp, on your neck, on your body. These are also quite versatile. But I do love the coverage this gives me, the power it has, and just like I said, I love sitting in front of it and just sort of doing that as my meditation. So the panel is really what I have been using the very most. I have one more device right here, which I forgot to share with you, and it is also by Current Body, and it is the Lip Perfector. Now this little guy I got because I recently started cosmetic needling around my lips every other day. That's a whole another video, but I'm trying to address my lip lines, and I thought something like this would be a great add-on treatment. So this is kind of like a adult pacifier, and I'm going to turn it on. You can see it has quite a few LEDs. It actually has 4 different wavelengths: 605, 633, 660, and 880 nanometers. So what you do with this is you put it in your mouth, and as you can see, it doesn't just shine the LED on your lips, but actually covers pretty much the lower part of the face, which often as we age becomes a problem area. This is a 3-minute treatment cycle, so super easy to use. However, I hardly ever use this. This actually comes with a really cool charging case, and I put it right next to me on my desk here to remind me to use it, and I still hardly ever use it because I sit in front of my panel and I get full coverage. So this is sort of a waste of my time, even though it's just in my mouth and I really don't have to do anything. But because I use my panel, I don't really use this. But something like this would be great if you just want to work on your lip area or the lower part of your face, or if you already have a face mask, because they all have a cutout right here and you don't really get your lips. So then something like this I think is a great idea. If you have a panel, it's overkill. I think Current Body also has some sunglasses with LED, so same thing. If you wanted to just focus on your under area or around your eyes, then those would be a great idea, because again, having something like this, though it's just really the eyes are cut out, you still get some LED around the eye area. But if you have a panel, you get full coverage. And this is a personal decision, please again follow the instructions, but personally I do not wear protective glasses when I sit in front of my panel. I keep my eyes closed, I make sure to not open them, and I'm fine. If you're sensitive, if you're worried about your eyesight, please do some research, wear the goggles these panels come with, but personally I don't. So these are all the devices I have accumulated. And really the ones I use are, every once in a while, my Omnilux mask, which has now replaced my Aduro mask just because the treatment cycle is shorter. but for the most part, I really use my panel. I also have, I forgot about that one, a multifunctional device, which I believe is a radio frequency, sonic vibration, and it does have LED. Now, in my opinion, if you want LED, to buy a multifunctional device like that, it's a waste if you want to buy it for the LED light therapy. If, of course, you want all the other functions as well, then it's not a bad add-on. But I don't know how much benefit you get from that little light shining over an area for just a few seconds or minutes. So again, these are the devices I actually use. And as far as what do I think is the best device for you, that you have to decide. So you have to sit down and think about, what kind of person am I? Am I a patient person that doesn't mind sitting for 10 minutes in front of a device and not doing anything? Of course, you can listen to a podcast or something like that, but do I not mind doing that? Or am I somebody who likes to multitask, who likes to do their LED light therapy and vacuum the house at the same time? Also, how much space do I have? Because these panels definitely take a bit of space. This one has a permanent place in my bedroom on a desk, but it does take some space. Do you travel a lot? Do you want to take your LED light therapy devices with you when you travel? Then a panel is not a great idea. I do think Mito Light makes a small one, so that one would be something you can travel with. But really, as far as traveling, something like this, of course, would be much easier. These weigh hardly anything, they're flat, and again, these are quite versatile as well. You can put them on other areas. Also, how much of your body do you want to treat? Do you just want to treat your face? Then something like this might be perfect. Do you want to treat your face and your neck? Something like this might still be perfect because, of course, you can also put this on your neck and your chest. Or you could get a separate neck and neck mask and just do the treatment at the same time. But it's really not necessary because, again, you can use this as well. So you really have to sit down and decide, what do I want to treat? Do I just want to treat my lip lines? Then this might be all I need. So what is it that I want to treat? What kind of person am I? Do I want to travel with the device, or am I just going to use it at home? Do I have the space for a panel? If so, what size panel do I want? Do I want something like I have that covers about 1/3 of my body? Do I want a full body panel? Do I want just a little portable one? So all of these questions only you can answer. But once you decide what kind of person am I, and you have sort of an idea of what would work with your lifestyle and the needs you have, then take a look at the device you decided to purchase and make sure that the wavelength of red is around mid 600 nanometers and near infrared around mid 800 nanometers. So I hope this was helpful. Now, of course, there are some other LED devices. There are domes, which I have never used. There are light bulbs, so there are some other options. If you use any of them, please share your experience with them down below. Also, please let me know if you have any questions or comments. I always love to hear from you. And let me know, do you use LED light therapy? If so, what device, and what have you noticed? What sort of benefits? Thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate you being here and spending some time with me. Until next time, bye.